I've always been somewhat of an outlaw when it comes to weight training, and I'm no Vince Gironda, and I'm certainly no Serge Nubret, but I do admire those gentlemen, and I try to use what I can of their training methods, their nutritional techniques, and so forth. Now, what I read on the internet these days regarding bodybuilders, powerlifters at my age, I'm 59 years old, 181 pounds, is that we have to lighten the weight. We have to reduce the intensity of our workouts, and when we're lifting weight, we have to lower it very slowly, very carefully, and I think that's all nonsense. I am not going to budge an inch. I'm not going to lose what I've worked so hard for 3.5 decades. I'm not going to give it up. And I also believe that I can still gain muscle mass at my age. And I want to talk about that in depth. One of the issues brought up by these so-called experts on lifting as you get older is that you have to reduce the amount of work that you do, your intensity, the amount of weight that you lift, and that is nonsense. If you do not maintain or increase your intensity, you're not going to maintain or increase your muscle mass. So when I talk about intensity, as I've stated in other videos, it's performing a certain number of sets per body part. I like to do at least 30 sets to 50 sets per body part. Sets back to back, sets to failure with no rest in between sets, as heavy as you can go for, say, 8 reps, okay? And if you have to lower the weight to maintain those reps and do drop sets, that's just fine. Now, one of the other issues that's brought up is that we have to resist the weight when we're deadlifting. We have to lower the weight very slowly under control or we'll get hurt. And that is nonsense. That is how you get hurt. You do not want to resist a heavy deadlift once you've locked it out. You want to get rid of it. Okay? I know that. I'm a world champion deadlifter. They don't know what they're talking about if they've given that advice. Okay? Another really bad piece of advice that these so-called experts are handing out to older folks, people that have been lifting for a long, long time, not new people, is that we cannot expect to move the weight as quickly as we used to. Well, I've got news for you. Speed begets strength. You have to have that factor in order to pull a heavy deadlift, a bench press, a squat. Speed is indispensable. There's no reason to give it up. It's nonsense. If you are worried about getting hurt, you are in the wrong game. Bodybuilding, powerlifting, Olympic lifting requires that you put fear out of your mind. Fear is the mind killer. That is how you get hurt, okay? You have to be able to operate, to train at 110% as a competitive bodybuilder, powerlifter, Olympic lifter. Now, I'm not talking about people who are just starting out as they, retired or whatever. I'm talking about seasoned lifters, and that's what these articles are talking about. Those are the people they're talking to. Now, as you get older, there are things that you can do to protect your joints and your connective tissue. You can take glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM. You can be very careful with your nutrition, eat properly, get the right amount of protein. You need to supplement with creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate does what? It fills the cells full of water. You want to stay as hydrated as you can. That water protects your muscles, protects your connective tissue. Okay? You've got to be educated in all these fields, and I know everybody is at this point, but this business of reducing intensity, reducing the weight, lowering the weight more slowly, not moving the weight as fast, all that's going to do is cause some muscle atrophy. You're going to lose your top end on your power lifts. You're going to get depressed, and you may throw in the towel. Fight. Fight all the way. Fight until the last breath. You can maintain it. I believe you can maintain it, and I can believe that you can also still gain some muscle mass.